Invalid.
Rip.
What in the fuck? Hold, please.
I'm live. I'm live. Just everybody know.
Oh shit.
Oh, we're going.
Alrighty. Sorry, I didn't ask before. Your you want to be addressed as is it Steez?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course. Of
What are you
course.
guys
All right, we're
looking
good.
at on Instagram? Let's go.
Shit,
Should I
dog.
be calling you Damien or Zero?
Whichever. I don't mind either way. Yeah, zero's fine.
And we bounce around.
Said, I don't mind. Yeah, just call me Zero though.
I mean, I'll just say, don't
Don't
mess it up. Just zero. Nah, just like nah. However, whichever. I don't mind.
Yeah,
Sure.
you pay me. You
Coca
gonna
Cola.
use my government name? You're gonna use
I'm
my
the only one
government
without a mic, man. I'm like, fuck.
name. You all right? Listen,
Should've
you do
brought
this.
my
We do this. You don't. You know what I mean? Maybe this will inspire you to get into it though.
God, I remember the first couple episodes, like when we were recording together. I hadn't busted out my mics and shit yet, and then I remember. Then there was an episode I did, and Damo was like, "Oh, Pudge got a little setup." I was like, "Dude,
Yeah.
I've been had this. I've just been way too lazy to set it the fuck up."
Yo, yeah, I remember when you got your setup too.
Bro, and I had like just moved into my apartment and shit too. Like I didn't know where I was going to record. I had an air mattress. I was like, dude, I'm trying to figure out life first before I worry about these fucking mics.
Are,
Bro, we
are we
did-
all
bro.
around the same age?
Damien is actually the youngest.
I'm
Yeah, Damo's the baby.
24, about to be
He's,
25.
Yeah,
Hey.
25.
Oh shit, that's what's up.
Yeah, I recently
Hey,
turned.
but
30.
it ain't nothing but a number.
I missed 25. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, facts.
Well, you guys are all around the same age, like 30, young 30s, no?
Yeah,
Mhm.
early.
on, bro.
And all fathers. You're the only one that's not a father.
Dang,
Hey,
everybody?
That's cool. That don't mean have a baby, nigga.
No.
No.
We don't want him to have a baby.
No,
not
not
yet.
Not right now. Not
Let him
right
move
now.
out first.
Yeah, I gotta move
Move
out.
out first.
Yeah. Figure my own stuff out, and then eventually have
There you go.
a little zero, maybe a little one running around.
Damn, a little one. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to
Eventually.
hit us with the intro today?
It's you, man. Your
Is it me
guest.
again?
You know.
Damn, welcome back to another fucking episode of the usual Tuesday. Happy motherfucking Tuesday, everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to my community, Corpses community, Zeros community, and we are blessed to have us on the podcast today. Our very special guest, Steez, my
What's
brother
up?
from another mother. He is here blessing us with his presence, a very intelligent young man that I've known for quite some time now. I'm very, very happy to have him on the podcast. And I mean,
Yeah.
everybody else has had a fucking guest but me. So fuck y'all. I need to get mine. And
Well,
we bring in people of color.
I'm Save's
God
first
damn it.
guest. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
dope.
We diversifying around here. All right.
Yeah.
Steve, for the people that are watching live and for the people that are going to be listening tomorrow, can you just introduce yourself? Let us know a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, what's in the works, and then we'll kind of dig into your brain a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got a few different names, but you can see Steve's on the screen there. As far as like what I got going on, I got two young kids, man. I got a 2-year-old and I got a 7-year-old, so they get the bulk of my time. You feel me? I'm also a day trader. I trade options. That's what I spend a lot of time doing. But recently, like in December, oh man, I got my ass clapped a few times and I took a break. You know what I'm saying? But before that, it's been going pretty well. I just started like February last year, so I'm still fairly new. But other than that, man, I'm just into like self-improvement, you know what I'm saying? And whatever my weaknesses are, I'm usually, trying to strengthen myself. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm with my kids most of the time. I just moved out here to North Carolina and shit. I've been married for 10 years, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, congrats.
So
Hell yeah.
I'm doing the family thing, man. That's what's really going on with me. But I got a lot of ambition inside. And like I said, when you got kids, everything slows down. That's why I was telling you, Zero, don't rush that shit at all. Like whatever you're doing right now, go all in on that shit. You feel me? Like that's important. I don't think nobody told me that. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, you grown now. Yeah, go do your thing," type shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, man, did I answer the question or?
Yeah, you did a great
Yeah.
job. You did a great job.
Perfect.
Hey, I mean, the Carolinas means a lot to this community. Putch is from the Carolinas. We've got one of
Oh
our
yeah.
good viewers,
Are
Jordan.
you you said you was Native American. Do you happen to be Lumbee or?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Oh
Yes,
shit,
sir. Yes,
I
sir.
met some Lumbees people out here, so that's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down from like the Lumberton, Pembroke area, man. So like
Okay.
southern North Carolina, right there on the border. Yes,
Right.
sir.
So I'm right here by Fort Liberty, military shit. So I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I heard of Pembroke and Lumberton. I don't know how far that is from me. You know what I'm saying? I only
Uh,
been here since like last August, I think.
Okay. How you liking the change?
So I came from Vegas, and originally y'all know I'm from Dago, San Diego. And actually prior to that, I was living in Washington State though. So Vegas, you know, it's cool. It's like city, but it's just no coming from Washington, you know, it was so green and like so much to do outdoors. And Vegas was so like hot as shit. Like the sun is trying to kill you, nigga. Like you don't want to leave your house, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like my kids want to go to the park. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
So
Fuck that.
coming here is cool. It's refreshing to have the vegetation and everything back. But it's definitely like small town vibes. You know what I mean? So it's like one-way streets, 2-lane streets. I hate that shit, bro. Like in Dago, it's like 4-5 lanes, you know what I mean? I could weave. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like so that's like that turned like a 10-minute trip to a 20-minute trip. So it'd be like fuck. But other than that, man, it's cool. Like my house is fat. Like it's the fattest crib I ever lived in. We got a big ass backyard. I got a trampoline back there.
Damn.
I got like more room than I know what to do with for real. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, maybe it'll inspire you to create a room to stream in. You never know. You know,
I got an extra room that I don't be streaming shit because I'm really like a private dude for the most part.
Oh, you know what I mean, though. You know,
Huh?
maybe you get into talking to some people about trading stocks or
Day
something.
trading
You know?
stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you have a room that you day trade in, or do you do it right off your laptop?
I do it on my laptop. Yeah, I don't have like the crazy setup you be seeing other niggas be having.
Yeah,
Because
like
like I
the 4
said, I'm
screens and
fairly
shit.
new. And I'm still trying to, get some momentum established in that arena. But I do like once I'm caked up, I'm definitely gonna invest in a whole new setup, have all type of monitors and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean it's I've watched a lot of people do like day trading, and it seems not mandatory, but it definitely seems like it makes the job a little easier, and being able to watch everything at the same time, and
hell
being
no.
able to
Yeah.
get out and get in right when you need to. So yeah, I mean that's a super interesting take. I know not a lot of us are very familiar with trading stocks. Maybe people have dabbled on Robinhood here and there, but Robinhood kind of be stealing your money sometimes,
Bro.
Dude, but they
I
execute
would encourage anybody using Robinhood to stop.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
and switch to a more reputable broker who's been around for longer than that. Like Robinhood is new, man. I use I use TD Ameritrade, but they just got acquired by Schwab.
Mhm.
Okay.
Really Schwab now. But Schwab been around for years too. You know what I'm saying? Like some shit your grandma know about or your mama know about. Like they be like Robinhood. You talking about the cartoon?
The man in tights. No, but you said something earlier that was kind of interesting because it's something that we definitely touch on quite a bit, and it's about like self growth. I mean we've all touched on it in different ways on how we do so. Pudge does a real good job in like reading the Bible, and although none of us are religious, and Corpse will be the first one to tell you, he's not one to push God down your throat, but reading the Bible is something that he does, and he always has some type of dope scripture for us at the end of the stream, which is awesome.
That's dope. That's dope.
But as far as developing as now, in your 30s, and what have you really seen to be the most proficient way to help your growth? Like, is it watching YouTube videos? Is it just being with your kids? Is it reading books? I mean, what's really the ticket?
What's up, Kat?
Or what really makes you feel the most like you're really progressing and moving forward?
I would say it's all of the above, those things you mentioned, and really just having the like just taking that shit serious. Like, just when you step to something, and these are your weaknesses, these are your fears, these are like things you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? For probably for good reason. So, but if you are committed to like, nah, I'm trying to be a better me. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to be stronger. I'm trying to be more intelligent. I'm trying to interact, have more meaningful interactions with people. You know what I'm saying? So I read, I watch YouTube videos. I'm with my kids. I actually I have like actual physical weaknesses that in parts of my body that I never really gave much attention. Like, for instance, my feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm strengthening my feet now. I'm started wearing like I don't know if you guys are familiar with barefoot shoes.
Yeah, I've looked into those for
Mm.
running. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Those
Yeah.
No, not that shit. I don't fuck with that. But
Oh,
like,
maybe I'm
it's
tripping.
just it's a wide toe box. So normal American shoes, they narrow at the toe.
Mhm.
And if you look at like a baby's feet, right, they spread out just like your fingers. And that's how
Mhm.
your toes is supposed to be. Your foot is supposed to make a triangle with your heel being that point, and then your toes having that other part. You know what I'm saying?
squared bottom.
I know there's a word for that, isosceles or some shit like that. But yeah, your foot is supposed to be a triangle. You feel me? And that's like the strongest shape in nature. That's what you're standing on. And so, me in particular, not only did I wear the narrow shoes, but my father passed down them bunions.
Ooh.
So I got shit working against me. But however, my feet are stronger now than they've ever been, and that
More
shit
Jordans.
hurts. That shit hurts. Like, no, hey, don't get me wrong. So matter of fact, let me say something else too. Like, for a long time, I was wearing the wrong size shoe, man. Not even knowing. I thought your shit was just supposed to be snug in that motherfucker, but it ain't. You supposed to have
A
space.
little bit of room. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just all learned this recently. Like, I wasn't really giving a fuck about my feet, as long as I had some fly sneakers on, and I wash my feet and put lotion on and after, regular shit. But I'm not working my feet out, working my individual toes out like I do now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Like that type of shit. And that type of shit, that shit hurt, bro. Like, it be days where I wake up in the morning and the first step I take out of bed, that's like, because I didn't work it out. You know what I mean? I didn't put it through so much stress, and it's been doing shit it ain't done before. So that's how it's supposed to feel though. That growth is uncomfortable, it's painful, but that's how something changed. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same as before. So that's the goal, man, is to just improve.
All right, I gotta ask you a quick question before these guys chime in, because there was a hot take that we had on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and you're a father, and you're open, you love your kids. I seen you.
Come
I
on,
seen you
bro.
with your daughter. I haven't
Why-
seen you with your youngest baby, but I gotta ask, bro. Do you think that it's inappropriate to kiss your children in the
No,
mouth?
wait. I never.
No. That's the question.
Okay,
Do
that's
I
the
think
question
it's-
you're asking now.
No. Okay. Wait, what is it weird to kiss your kid in the mouth? That was the
That's a
question.
little bit better. That's better.
I mean, I don't do that shit just because kids usually got wet mouths, and I don't want that shit in my mouth. Like, I mean, I wouldn't automatically think no inappropriate shit if I seen
Yeah.
a parent doing that, but that's not something I prefer to do. I
Exactly.
mean, they got babies and young kids, they got the chunky cheeks that we all like. You know what I mean? So that's what I usually go for. But if you kiss your kids in the mouth, more power to you. I don't give a fuck, honestly. Like, I don't do that shit though.
It was just interesting because it sparked a huge debate on the podcast,
Really?
and the TikTok kind of went crazy on it too. There was people chiming in.
You kiss your little
kinda-
man in the mouth?
I do,
Say?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's all good.
And Corpse's kid is about the same age as Peanut, and he kisses him in the mouth. I mean, not like blatant all the time. Like, I'll be like, hey, just give me a kiss, and if he makes it on my mouth, like, it's no big deal. If he makes it on my cheek, I don't. give a
Yeah.
fuck.
So like when I tell my son, hey, come give me a kiss, he like that. He put his lips right in your face. So that happens. You know what I mean? But as far as like me intentionally aiming for them lips, nah, I'm going for the cheek.
Yeah, I mean, when I was
That's what
a
I'm
kid,
thinking.
when he was a baby, yeah, like it didn't bother me. But it was just the debate was interesting because, I mean, Zero, you want to tell your standpoint on it? So I'm not.
All I said it was weird, bro. That's all I said. On my, that's all I said, bro.
But why did you say it? You went into depth on why it was weird.
No,
You gotta
listen,
tell us why you said
I
it was
don't
weird.
listen. I don't remember exactly why I said it, but I will say right now, it just feels weird. Like that's my kid, and I actually agree with Steve a lot in terms of like the cheeks. Those are just like cute areas that you want to kiss just naturally. But like
Straying away from the end.
to go intentionally to the lips for me, and like I'm on Steve's page exactly. Like it's not that I think ill of anybody or like that's inappropriate or you're on some weird shit. It's just weird to me. To me, I feel uncomfortable like intentionally going for my
I feel
child,
like I understand you trying to like evade, any negative energy coming back to you from how you truly feel about that. So that's why I would be like, instead of saying it's weird to you, just be like, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't. Yeah. That's all.
Because when you say it's weird, like niggas always want to be like, why is it weird? They want to,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It invites some comeback, and you like, I ain't trying to offend you, nigga, but that's
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
That's just not me.
Don't make him stray away from that.
It's just
We
not
love
me.
when he does that. Then we go at it. All right, I'll ask you one more hot take, and then I'll let these guys take over because the hot takes was a good one. It's good to know somebody
Smoking
else's insight.
Sunday. Putch
Pizza
has
or
that.
hamburgers?
It's called the smoking section. He has that podcast.
Hamburgers.
Come on, man. Come on, Steve. We're on the same page. One for one. Make it 2 for 2, bro.
Pizza or hamburgers?
I'm always gonna give a real answer. You know what I mean? I really, first of all, I don't like that question, but
Oh,
I would probably go with hamburgers.
Oh my
W's,
god,
bro.
And I like pizza, but
You taking a
Want some-
hamburger over pizza?
on some preference shit, like, cause if you can get like some real grass fed beef and like, you know what I'm saying, it could be a healthy type situation. No cheese. You said hamburger, so I don't never do the cheeseburger. So that healthy beef with the what I like on there, I like just tomato and onion really, and maybe like I like the ketchup and mayo mixture.
Yeah, that's such a good
Um,
mixture, bro. That's
like-
a slept on mixture.
Hell yeah, with like with a toasted bun. I fuck that motherfucker up.
What kind of bread you going though? What kind
So
of bread
what?
you going? What kind of bread you going?
You know what? I really don't really be paying attention to what bread I get. Like I just get a bun. Like I guess wheat or white. I don't know. Wheat probably. Wheat over
brioche.
white for sure.
if you want to be fancy, you always say brioche. Yeah, exactly what Cisco
Brioche.
said.
Brioche.
Brioche is the
Oh
one.
yeah. No, you're
Sourdough
right.
buns are
I forgot it.
underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Sourdough. Yeah, fire. Sourdough is fire.
Sourdough.
Sourdough,
good.
anything for anything
nah.
is fire as fuck.
Although on a
I can't fuck
burger,
with the sourdough, but
Yeah.
I do fuck with the brioche shit though. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I fuck with
Brioche
that.
is fire.
yeah, brioche is good.
All right, boys. You guys got anything? Steve's an open book, and I know a lot about him. So I know we spent the first 10 minutes. I was asking him all types of shit, but I know a lot about the man. So
Yeah.
I definitely want you guys to pick his brain a bit.
Yeah, man. Let's chop it
Was
up.
there anything in particular, Steve, that you want to chat about? Anything going on in your life that you got some issues going on, or anything that you just need to, sometimes when you're at home with the kids all the time, you gotta, it's just nice to just chat about what.
Cat, I don't think
what's
anybody's
going on,
smoking
anything
here.
like
I don't
that.
think, except for a save.
So, I didn't let y'all know what I got going on, and I'm curious. Like, I guess I would be curious about. Are y'all in relationships? Like, y'all got a
I
woman?
am.
Zero's the only one.
Yeah, zero.
Really?
And I got a 5-year relationship, so I'm in it.
Okay, and you 25.
Yeah, but
And
yeah.
are you and you still stay with your folks, right?
Yeah, for right now, I'm actually set to move out. Hopefully later this month, maybe next month. I mean, depends.
Okay, I guess I'm interested in discussing like where we are as a society and obviously all of our opinions as far as when it comes to like gender roles and
Our
you know
favorite
what I mean?
topic.
Yeah, that's literally
My
been a hot
favorite
topic.
topic. So for the-
I hate
for the-
women. Okay,
for the-
let's just get that
So
clear.
there's an ongoing joke on the podcast that Corpse is a misogynistic pig who hates women and
Yeah, really.
thinks that they only belong in the kitchen. So,
But you're not gay, right? when
That
you
would be
say
the
you hate
trifecta,
women,
bro.
It's just it's an ongoing joke,
Oh
bro, because
my
he just,
God.
you know, if there's anybody that has women problems in this
This
on this
fucking
podcast, it's definitely
Mhm.
Corpse. He's definitely had his
So-
fair share.
Save is
of,
definitely smoking.
women.
So
God.
when you say you hate women, like you're not gay now, right? You
No.
you still,
No, I'm homophobic too. I'm transphobic, homophobic, misogynistic,
Are you-
xenophobic.
so my
Anything
thing is
with a
like,
dick,
okay, so sometimes
in.
I have an issue discerning if somebody's being sarcastic. So are you being sarcastic when you say all that shit?
Absolutely, dude.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, no,
I
that's
just
all.
feel like as a society, like we getting really far away from the traditional, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, and hey, if y'all disagree, let me know. Real masculine males are typically, generally speaking, more traditional. Like they want to be the man of the house, they want to protect and provide. And I ain't saying a woman belonged only in the kitchen, but she should be submissive to her man and on her man's program. You feel me? Like as a household, he's the leader and they move how he say they should move. So I'm interested in, because I feel like, in social media and just in our society in general, like there's a lot of like, oh, we want it to be equal treatment, and like, you know what I'm saying? And so what's crazy is I'm a stay-at-home dad right now, basically. So it's like a weird area to be in with my type of
Situation.
perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, man, I would be curious to hear what y'all feel about gender roles, and where we going and what's going on right now.
I want to put
Say
it.
zero.
I was gonna say I want to put in my 2 cents real quick before everybody else goes, but
Yeah.
I think, and somebody in my chat asked, "What do you mean by submissive?" And I'll let you get to that in a second. But really quick, just to spiel that, I think a lot of the times when it comes to like the internet and like nowadays that we see so many perspectives, it becomes overwhelming and it becomes like this is the world now. This is what we feel like, and no doubt that the world has changed in terms of like what is the role of the male now that men and women are working in the same spaces, or some women are out earning men and stuff like that, and that
Yeah.
changes the dynamic in some sense of like who's the breadwinner, who's going to manage the house if the woman is the breadwinner and things like that. But overall, I think it's probably vastly the same, but we've gotten a sense of like the vocal minority in terms of just looking at like
I agree.
you know
with
what I
that.
mean?
The
Internet.
vocal minority.
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of these like more, I don't know, just like what is it? First world problems that we see all the time that we're like, bro, why is this fucking? It's like such the like it's 1% of Twitter that you're looking at, and like the rest of the world is like, bro, this doesn't fucking matter. Although it's overloading our mind all the time. But I will say, I mean, there's definitely changes, and but now I think more than ever you just get to see those. So
Agreed.
you know what I
Agreed.
mean? So
Anybody else want to chime in?
but I do want to know what did you mean by submissive, just really quick.
Okay, submissive. Okay, so when I say that, first of all, there should always be respect between the man and the woman. You know what I'm saying? It's not no, it ain't no pimp shit where you got the bitch on a leash type shit.
Yeah.
I ain't on that at all, bro. My thing is though, the man is the leader. At the end of the day, if there's a disagreement or because she gonna have her side. She's a human being. You know what I'm saying? She has her opinions, her perspective. And even if they come together and discuss whatever the issue is, when it's all said and done, I'm banging the gavel. That's what I'm saying.
Do you ever think there's situations where the woman leads?
Nah, not for me. Not in the relationship I would be in, but I wouldn't have no issue with. That's my thing. Is like you got to say this nowadays, Zero. You got to be like, hey, I have no problem with what anybody else do, but this is how I do it.
Yeah.
No, but I was just asking you. I mean, because because I have definitely been, I've definitely felt that way that you feel, right? Like it was that at the end. I've watched my dad. I've watched many men live life that way and be very successful in whatever it is that they do. And I was just curious, you know, like, is there ever a position in a relationship
Where
where,
she would lead me?
in any sense of the word, I mean, when it comes to,
I can't.
you
I
know,
mean,
getting the kids ready for school, making the decision on,
okay,
uh,
okay, okay. Getting the kids ready for school, right? Um,
or
I
I mean,
feel like
anything that has to do with school, anything that has to do with the kids in school. Like, is that ever a time for a woman to lead, or do you still feel that you have the last
so.
say in what happens in that
Y'all think
situation?
Even if
generation is soft?
my woman is the only one speaking, there might be in that
Also,
situation. I
okay, yeah,
might
I
not
agree with
say
that.
nothing.
I agree with
You
that.
know what I'm saying? Like if we go up to the school for like a parent teacher conference, I might not say. I'll say very little, and it's just my wife and the teacher interacting mostly. But I've at home behind closed doors, my wife knows me, so she knows my expectations. She knows what we about. So I would expect her to execute in that mind frame. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I'm not saying shit, like so that's what I mean. Like overall, I'm the leader. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean I'm overbearing or I always gotta be
No,
involved
no, we
in.
don't take it that way at all. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
If anything, I would say that
No,
I
I'm
know
just
at
trying
least
to
for.
clear it up for the viewers and
yeah.
anybody
Oh, I
asking
got you.
questions and all of that type shit. But yeah, go
I
ahead.
got you. I got you. Yeah, yeah. They this conversation has happened many a plenty of times, so a lot of people know where we're coming from. So I apologize when that I interrupted you there because our stance on this is very. We've made this. We've had this conversation plenty of times.
Okay.
But I mean, I would say personally, I would say I agree with you 100%. But the issue, I wouldn't say it's an issue, but the understanding has to be, you know, you find the partner from the rip that's like that, or you guys learn how to be
From the
that
what?
way
You said from the what?
from the rip, like off the
Oh,
start,
right.
off the
Off rip.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if you don't have those hard conversations up front, if you don't have those types of, if you don't
Yeah.
have that dynamic dating, you know, as much as I don't want to say like training, but like when it comes to growing together and building that type of relationship, there has to be some type of understanding from the beginning. I don't think it's you know, oh damn, you know, she's bad as fuck. I'm about to cuff her, and now she has to learn how I am. They have to, you know, the woman on the opposite end has to be open and willing and submissive.
Well,
You know,
that's what like dating is, right? Y'all figuring out if y'all fit. Like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You presenting who you are and will she accept? And that's the thing. A man is a giver, right? The
Mhm.
masculine energy is giving. The feminine is the receiver. You know what I'm saying? So if
Mhm.
she and so what's weird is like we don't really know ourselves until late 20s, 30s, really, probably even I would say late 30s. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? People don't know themselves. And so when you jump in serious relationships that early, it's like, whoa, like all you know is what you're used to, but you don't know, like, you haven't decided what you won't take and what's mandatory for you. You know what I'm saying? Like that
until
type
it
of shit.
happens, until it happens, and
Until
then
it
you're like,
happens.
oh fuck, because that could come 6 months
Yeah.
into the relationship or 6 years into the relationship. You
Well,
might, you know
it's
what I
it's
mean?
more than one thing though. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no,
You're
no,
always
sure,
it's,
yeah, no,
it's,
no, for
it's gonna
sure.
keep
But
coming. Well,
my thing is that's what I'm saying, you know, and that's where it gets tricky for men, in my opinion. In my opinion, from being a man and knowing other men, you know, because we have to, what is it? We have to charade in a way when we're courting women to, you know, want to date us or whatever the case may be. Um,
hey, interesting.
to get in order to
Be safe, cat. Be
gain
safe, cat. Thank you
access
so much for
to
dropping by, man.
further dates, in bedroom, whatever the case may be, right? At
Mm.
some point, it is a
I don't
charade.
know if I agree with that part, Save, or I don't know if you use the right word there. We had to charade.
I
I
mean,
would disagree with that word in particular, personally, but you
go
know,
ahead.
that's just
No, well,
me.
and the reason I say that is because do you, when you go out to the club, do you always dress the way that you dress to go find a woman? Do you
I don't
all
go
are
to the
you?
club, to be real with you.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about
Oh,
in
okay,
general. You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
I'm not talking about me or you. I'm just talking about in general as men.
I
Well, you
mean,
put
nah,
your
but
best
you,
foot forward,
but
right?
just because you dress for the occasion, don't mean it's a charade. Like when I go to church, I'm not finna wear the same shit I got on now. You feel me? Like
Mhm.
it's like I dress for the occasion. You know what I mean? But I'm
Yeah, I
never
think
charading.
I think you're misunderstanding. I'm just saying men in general. I'm just saying as an overall
Right.
being, men are
Indeed.
typically it is typically a charade. I mean, I don't think any four of the four of us would go out and be anything other than ourselves if we were to go out and whatever, go to a bar, cigar club, whatever the case may be, and you know, a couple women come up. I feel the four or the three of us, I'm excluding Zero because he's in a relationship, would be
I'm married
you're
too.
Yeah, bro.
married, but you
I was like, yo, what?
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, like, but you surround yourself with the people that you believe are gonna be like I would not go out with somebody that I believe is gonna be a completely different person while we're out.
Mhm.
Right.
So a woman is also going to want that. They're also going to want a man that is not like that. So if you're upfront, now I'm talking about you. If you're upfront about those types of things, and like I said, you have those hard conversations, I wouldn't say on date one, but I mean, you know, somewhere in the midst of
And that's what
a
I
month
didn't do.
or
That's what
two
I
months.
didn't do. Yeah. Yeah. You got to be upfront at the beginning for sure. And I didn't do
And I think, yeah, I think there's a, I think dating culture has gotten weird because it's like now, I mean, at least for me, all I've ever heard is by date 3, you know what I mean? There should be some kind of, people are getting to third base and this and that, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a weird thing of culture where by the third date, I want to know if this motherfucker knows how to cook, right? I need to see how clean her apartment is. Like, what is your hygiene regimen look like? Do you work out? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck your favorite color. Do you go to work, my guy? Like, are you just burning it up at the club? Like, those are the
I
things I
knew you
think.
like guys, bro. It's okay.
like these are like these
Yo,
are
what the-
these are the tougher questions I feel like need to be kind of more upfront with, and
So I would say to that, sorry, can I talk? Are you
no,
I don't
go ahead,
wanna
go ahead,
cut
go
you
ahead.
off. I would say to that, like, I don't give a fuck what everybody else is doing, bro. Like when I'm involved with somebody, or obviously I am, but I'm saying like just me, period. I'm very myself all the time. Like it's a big deal. Like I make sure that there's no outside influences. And I would suggest like if you're dealing with somebody, don't bring in expectations of, oh, this is the third date, so I guess I'm supposed to be fucking or kissing or
Yeah,
something. Like what? Like,
Yeah, you
nah,
gotta.
if how is it going between you and that individual? Like,
Mhm,
just go from where you guys are. You know what I mean? Like there
mhm,
should be no outside expectations at all. They're
mhm.
not there. They're not involved. It's you and her. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I
that's
think
kind of
that's
where I'm
where
at. That's kind of
yeah,
where
I
I'm at,
think
where it's like
that
third
the thing
date.
that we yeah, go ahead, Corpse. My bad.
It's like third date where some people have this expectation that certain things should be happening by this time. To me, I put this own pressure on myself as by the
mm,
third date, do I know this person enough to even, you know what I'm
right.
saying, to even ask certain questions or to
So
to
so I
have.
feel like when I hear you say that, I'm thinking, well, you got to be intentional. It sounds like you're not being intentional from the first date. It's like,
No, it's the intent from the first date. It's like I need to make sure I'm asking X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. Like, fuck favorite color conversations. Like, what are you dealing with in your own mental space? Like, what are you dealing with on the back end? You know what I mean? Because to me, that's going to make me even want to pursue a second date. If
right.
I'm already hearing that you got too much going on, ex-boyfriend this and girlfriends are dramatic that, I'm gonna go ahead and remove myself from that situation.
How do you again, Corpse?
Was that
How old are you?
31?
Okay. So yeah, we
Mm.
about the same age. So like, what type of women do you like? Do you like younger women, or
The bad ones, the worst ones is the ones I
would
seem
you,
to always fucking date, dude.
when you say bad and worse, you talking about like, oh, I'm a bad
Not
bitch
not
type,
bad meaning bad.
or
No.
uh,
Bad meaning bad, not bad meaning
oh,
Bad
good.
bad
news.
meaning
Bad news
bad.
bears, man.
Bad news bears, yeah,
Bad news
bad
bears.
news bears, and like one thing that I really kind of like smashed into recently was like one of your earlier questions was, women in submission, right? And I even had someone comment where it was like, I've started to learn that as a man, like if I really want a woman to submit to me, then I need to be a man enough to kind of relieve those
Exactly.
masculine responsibilities in her life, right?
Exactly.
One,
Exactly. So
how do I do
go ahead.
that?
Go
Like,
go
how
ahead.
do I do that? I'm a man of God, right? You know what I'm saying? And I am going to date somebody who follows the same cloth, like, you know what I mean? Who's cut of the same cloth. Because if
Mm,
I want her to submit to me, then she needs to know that I'm submitting to God, right? So what he's calling me to do should be the exact same thing that he's calling you to do. So
let's talk
follow
about
me.
God.
Wait, really quick before we
Let's
pivot,
talk about
before we
God. Go
pivot,
ahead.
real quick.
Go ahead, Zero.
I wanted to say really quick something that I think should be outlined more often is that a lot of the times we talk about like masculine traits and needing to be like submitted to, I guess, like our ladies should be submissive to us. I think a big thing is understanding your own feminine traits, as a male, to
Absolutely.
not
Absolutely.
like to be feminine, you know what I mean, but understanding those feminine parts of yourself and to really
So
you
can I
know
say something right there
be a
to
team
that?
there. Yeah, of course.
So if you're with a feminine woman in you guys' interactions, she's gonna let you know where you're being feminine and where you need to be more masculine. If you're paying attention, you're gonna pick up on it. If your
Mhm.
woman is feminine, I mean, even if she's masculine, if you're a man that pays attention to like what's unsaid, like me, like how people act, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, oh, you know what? She's acting like that because I'm acting like this. It starts with the
Mm.
man. You know what I'm saying? For
Everything's a
sure.
reaction for sure. I mean, you could always take it as like a reaction and then like adjust from there. I agree with that.
And that's what I'm saying. You're gonna attract who you are. You feel me? And if you're ambiguous and you don't really know and you still got questions, you don't even need to be dating because you're
Mhm.
you're not who you're trying to be yet. You know what I'm saying? Ask
Mm.
me how I know because I'm going through this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Hey, you know, bro, I've been single for a minute, dog. I mean, there's, you know what I mean? Like, trust me. Listen, I went from living with somebody. I went from living with my parents and my brother to living with somebody to, then now I have my own space. Bro, Zero looked at me like I was crazy when I told him I would be open to dating and never living with somebody ever again. Like 100%.
but
You know what I
she's
mean?
gonna
Like,
want to live with you if she
sure.
fucks with you. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, I'm open to that. I'm open to dating for as long as I possibly could without living with somebody because I, having your own space, having even if it's just like a den or a man cave or just some type of something that's yours where it's your solace. You know what I mean? Like you're nobody's fucking with you. That's what I enjoy more than
So
anything now.
right. Okay. So to that, I would say, a man is a leader, like a masculine male to me.
Mhm.
And I speak so objectively. I'm sorry. In my opinion, a man is a leader, right? He leads. And naturally, not no like, oh, I got to go study how to lead type shit. No, none of that. Like it just exudes, it comes out. And a woman, a feminine woman, follows her man if she fucks with him, if she trusts him. You know what I'm saying? She gonna follow you. So if y'all decide to live together, um, she's not gonna be
Oh,
she's
I'm
gonna
already
know
knowing.
you. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
She's
yeah.
not gonna
No, no,
try
no.
to disrupt your peace at all. She knows
Oh
how
no,
important it is
yeah.
to you.
Even if I live with somebody, I'm not. My peace is not being disrupted. I just mean it in a sense of I enjoy being alone at this point, and where I am in my life right now, I
I
enjoy
feel
being
that
alone.
too. I feel that too.
I
100%.
like. I don't have to deal. I don't have to deal with it with anybody's bullshit except for these two motherfuckers.
I do have
That's
a
it.
I do have a question as well though, Steve. Like to the
What's up?
because I feel like a lot of the times we can even if you want to like pivot this to the workplace as an example, we know that there are like people who just don't know how to lead, um, just innately like that. For like the people who, I guess for the men out there who don't know how to lead innately, what would you say can be done for people like that?
I mean, so if that's truly your goal, right? If you have
Mm-hmm.
a genuine interest in becoming a leader and like expanding your understanding of masculinity and what it is to be a man. I mean, this is the information age. You know, it's at your fingertips. All you gotta go do is look.
Mhm.
There's books. I mean, I read a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership
Mhm.
by
Mhm.
I think it was John Maxwell is the author. They got books on it. They got videos. You know, what I mean, we can learn anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of our time. But
But
you
do they
have to be
still?
genuinely interested. Like, it
Can't
can't
be.
just be a fad. Because once you get in it, you're like, oh shit, I really gotta read this, and I really gotta retain the information,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
make
yeah.
it part of me. You know what I mean? And if you're not serious, and I would challenge the men out there to ask yourself, are you serious about this? Because if you're not, then nobody else is gonna take you serious.
But okay, so let me
Absolutely.
ask you this.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this though,
Yeah.
because based off of what you just said, you said a real leader, a real man is gonna lead without any type of that knowledge, right? Without reading, without YouTube or learning
Well,
off,
yeah,
you know.
but so he may be trying to lead in the wrong way. It may be coming out, but he don't know how to properly communicate. You know, he may be way too harsh. He may be way too soft. Baby, I think we should do this. Hell no, we ain't doing that. Okay. You know, there's beta males. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but
but
what so my question was gonna be, do you
sorry.
believe that no, you're good. Do you believe that a beta can be successful in leading as an alpha can with
I
practice, I guess you
believe
could say?
any human being can do whatever he sets his mind to,
Mm.
especially right now.
Mhm.
Especially right now and beyond. It's just
But
you have to decide. And to decide means to cut. If you think of incision, right? You're cutting off all other options. You've decided this is what I'm doing. I don't care what obstacles present themselves. I'm going through them motherfuckers because I've decided this is who I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you're, yeah, I think I want to, or let me try that. Okay, well, that's you know, there's it's less likely you're gonna
Mhm.
reach your goal. You know what
you
I'm
have
saying?
because I know Corpse is a reader too. Is there a book that you recommend? Not even just based off of this conversation, just in general. Is there a book that you recommend that you would be like, that's a book that I think everybody should read?
Um, man, don't have me bring out my library, dog. I got some shit. Um, based on so you talking about leadership or manhood
I'm
or
just talking about in general. Because I'll give you one that I think that you should read that you would benefit off of.
what's that? Go ahead.
It's called Snapshot by Dan Carem.
Okay, what's that about?
It's about first impressions, and even if somebody's giving you the wrong
Okay,
first impression, you give them the opportunity based off of how you live your life in a loving manner to allow them even that bad first impression to be a good one. It's actually
okay,
really fucking great. And I
I'm gonna
actually met
check
Dan,
that
and
out.
he's a great person, like a great fucking
Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek
That's
is one of
always
the
always a highly recommended book.
bro. That man changed my life.
Yeah, man.
Understanding.
Sinek.
Yeah, man. And
Is
it,
that
and it
his
talks
real last name? Cynic?
Mhm.
Sinek. Yeah, Sinek. So it's a really really close like cynic, like cynical,
Yeah, like
but then
cynical. Yeah.
cynic. Yeah, it's a really good book. Y-
So
yeah, yeah. I think even to the point where like people I think get so like they want the latest edition book. You know what I mean for like leadership or manhood, but like I think even too for all of us, like it's even smart to read old books. Read something from
oh,
the
for
fucking
sure.
1980s, bro, or the 70s because we want traditional values. That's when it was being instilled into our communities here in America. Like let's just
Absolutely.
speak of America here because our traditions here are much different abroad, you know.
So
And
I got a couple authors I like from like the 80s and like that time period you're referring to, like what's his name? Jim Rohn.
oh,
Um
Jim Rome, dude's a beast, bro.
he's a
Jim Rome's
beast.
a
Jim
beast.
Rohn, John Proctor. I like Proctor too.
Yeah, John
You know what
Proctor.
I'm saying? Um so I don't know if anybody's heard of John Baines. I've read a couple of his books, The Science of Love. Um what was it called? Shit, there's another one over there. I'm trying to see.
It's time to get you some glasses, bro.
No,
John,
I
I mean,
spent
I told you the house is it's spacious. You know what I'm saying? My shit is over there.
It's a football field
Tell me how
away,
big your
man.
crib is without telling me how big your
Literally.
crib is, bro.
Got the
You gotta-
binoculars out and
You gotta
shit.
be
Like,
real.
let me
Oh,
check.
yeah.
Let me check.
Damn, what's
My
on that
bad.
wall over there, boy?
Nah, you're good, bro.
Damn, I've read some shit, bro. Definitely The Science of Love. Definitely The Way of the Superior Man, David Data. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's a good book.
That's a good one.
So being a man is like important to you then.
Yes, sir. 100%. 100%. Like. So I was raised by my grandmother and my mother. My
Yeah,
uncle
that's
was
what I was just about to get into, and I was gonna
my
ask
uncle.
you.
My uncle played a crucial role as well, but he was military, so he was deployed a lot and shit. You know what I mean? So, but I think men are just important to society, and I mean like real men, especially now. It's a lot of foo-foo going on, and you know, it's to each his own. But
Do you
I gotta.
do you have a fear that do you have a how can I word this? Is there is any of it fueled by fear? Some type of fear?
I wouldn't say so. I would say it's really innate.
Or failure?
I don't even know where it comes from. Like, I mean, I didn't took a lot of L's in my life, bro. And I guess how I handled those L's, I don't want to handle like because there's a lot of things I want to do that I've never done, and nobody can tell me how. It's like I'm just gonna have to figure it out, and that means I have to do it fearfully. I have fear in me because I never done it, and I know there's consequences to fucking up. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be afraid and still do it anyway. I have to, you know what I mean? So
No,
I feel
absolutely.
like that's more of a not that women don't do that, but I just feel like weaker individuals don't. You know what I mean? And,
Do you think
Men are
that
tall,
did anything change when you became like was there this shift before or after you had kids?
So I always been into like self improvement. You know what I mean? Before my kids, and I think this kind of is just like how it just expanded in this way. Um, yeah, I
Towards
think
you were talking about I'm talking about like the towards masculinity? Like being more masculine or learning the direction of masculinity?
I mean, so I've always been naturally masculine. I mean, you know me, bro. Like
Yeah,
I've
no, no, no. I
never
mean
been.
like the because of all the book. The only reason I'm asking this is because a lot of the books that you read, it sounds like a lot of masculine books, a lot of being a leader, a lot of those types of things. So I'm just asking, like, was the interest in those things more so before or after you had children? Like being a leader and being the right type of man.
I don't think
I'm
it really
just
had much to do with my children. It was more so like I'm out here trying things and going through shit, and it's like destroying me emotionally. You know what I mean? And it's like, what are you gonna do? You gonna lay down and die? Like you gotta get up, nigga. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Again, I think it's also natural for me. Like I just want to conquer shit. I want to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why. I don't know how. Like nothing in particular really happened to me. I've always felt like this since I was 6 years old. I wanted to be like a football player. I wanted to be a football player. I had like the toy shoulder pads and the toy helmet, and I was always in my 3-point stance. And like to me, they were dope. They were like they got a lot of praise. They got a lot of love. Like I don't know. You know, I wanna be there for people. Like you know, I wanna and I grew up poor, like with the women in my life. So, or with my grandma and my mom. So, I want to be able to. And I don't want to say provide, but help them out whenever I can. And I do that a lot right now. You know what I'm saying? And I speak on the masculinity here tonight on this forum because to me, as I perceive the world, it's fleeting. You know what I'm saying? There's more effeminate shit being pushed, and I see a lot of foo-foo shit. And so I'm really like, okay, we on this live and y'all got viewers and shit. That's what I see going on. One of the main things that I see going on that concerns me just on some like, are people thinking for themselves? Because again, the masculine is going to contribute, he's going to give to the world. But if you're not masculine, you're going to take whatever's going on and just get on board without really thinking it out. And does this really make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just go along for the ride, because a lot of shit doesn't make sense to me right now that's going on. You know what I mean? Like, how can y'all really be supporting this guy? Like, how can y'all really be supporting these ideas and these traits? And you know what I mean? It's like, I'm kind of like, what the fuck going on? So
Is there
definitely-
with that being said, with that one saying right there, I mean, is there somebody that that's running for president that you're really looking at?
Oh my God, what are you doing?
I'm just curious. I'm just curious because there's
don't know,
one guy
boys.
that I think he's fucking.
I definitely want
I'm
to.
a right-wing extremist, so let's see what he's gotta
Extremist,
say.
bro. Spell
I
out.
think
Let's see what he has.
honestly with the ones that are going out around right now rallying, there's only one clear option in my opinion, and he's not gonna win.
Go ahead and
It's
say it, bro.
unfortunate, but-
Say it.
Okay, so now we transition into politics. I do want to talk about God though, but
Oh yeah, this is
guess-
just a quick question. We don't have to.
I get-
We don't have to sit on this one. I was just curious.
I guess that was kind of a reference to Trump or whatever, but I feel like it's a little deeper than him. It's
For
a little
sure.
deeper.
It's a
than
lot
just-
deeper than him.
Yeah,
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, social media. It's the media that plays the biggest part on this. I do want to know the answer to your question, but it is the media that plays the
Is it though?
biggest part on this. Absolutely.
The media.
Because where are
'Cause
we?
I feel like the
gaining-
media
where are we gaining
lost
all
a
this
lot of its
information?
power.
Where are you
Oh.
gaining all the information?
Well, okay, so with social media being social and anybody could hop on this shit, we're just hearing a bunch of different opinions from regular people like us.
The loud
Right.
minority.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like I don't know if the media, like when I think of media, I'm thinking of News Corps, you know, Fox News, CNN, you know, all that type of shit. And I don't
Because they're the
think-
ones that put the information out. Is that why you're referencing?
Well,
them?
when you say the media, that's who I think of.
That's who you hear.
Oh, okay. Well, I also believe that social media is the media because of algorithms and things of that nature. They
Okay,
they can
okay.
put whatever the fuck they want in front of you. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we don't
Okay.
see what we want to see all the time, and majority of us sit like this for 4 to
And
6
some of the
hours a day, you know what I
platforms,
mean?
some of the platforms did get exposed for hosing down candidates and hosing down information. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so in this age of medias, it's a weird back and forth where I can see where Steez is saying they've lost their credibility. I mean, I think we've all seen it. We kind of, when we hear them tune on, and it's like, dog, you're just pushing a certain angle. You're pushing a certain angle. We used to have people like Vice News, who used to be very independent, down the middle, and they
Vice
were
News.
good.
They're still
Very-
around, right?
They kind of got hijacked a little bit.
Whoa.
But then at the same time, I do see what Cisco's saying, where it's like these medias, for the layman person, you know what I mean, they're just shoving this information at them. And if you're in the right algorithm, that's all you're seeing is something tuning you to a certain direction, whether it's right, left.
And it's
up,
probably the older generation who's not really knowing what's going on with these algorithms, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
for me, I'm very aware of that shit. So like,
Mhm.
because you know, if you go on YouTube and if you go on your phone on YouTube and you go to the home part, that's just random shit that they're showing you based on what you watched, what they think
Mhm.
you'll like, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
I completely avoid that home button. I go straight to my subscriptions, and I'm very like, you know, let me not give that shit no attention because I don't want them to, you know, amplify that.
But
Yeah,
even
so-
then, even then, you got to be careful, right? Because this is what the tricky portion about it is, and I've paid a lot of attention to this, right? Because even YouTube, right? I'm glad that you started at YouTube first. I was gonna start with like Twitter and then scrolling over to TikTok, and then you don't see something that you like on TikTok, so you go to Instagram, and on all three of those platforms, you'll see some type of similarity because they share your information. But then you go to YouTube, right? And even if you go straight to the subscription button, because I do the same, sometimes I'll do the same thing, right? I don't want to look at recommended. I just want to go straight to subscriptions. I'll go to subscriptions and then I'll scroll through the comments sometimes. But even then, bro, you have to be very, very mindful. As you're scrolling through the comments, the recommended videos scroll with you. Those videos on the side. I mean,
never go through the comments. Like to this day, I've never clicked
Really?
on comments on YouTube. On Instagram, yes, but on YouTube, never. I don't give a fuck. But
Because I watch a lot of YouTube on my computer, that's why, or on my TV. And
I usually
so if I'm
I do too. I do too, for real, for real. But what I'm
I'm
saying is
scrolling.
like,
I'm telling you, that thing is scrolling right next to you with recommended videos, and you're like, "Oh fuck, here goes the
oh
rabbit
yeah,
hole," and then you're
I've seen it, but I don't click on it. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like I rarely do I click on that shit. And when I say I go straight to my subscriptions, like I subscribe to Fox News. I subscribe to the local news wherever I live at the time. I subscribe to CNN. I want to hear it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Something that also I wanted to say, sorry, really quick.
go ahead.
You're good.
Something that's kind of unfortunate that we're kind of losing with the rise of like alternative media, with the fact that like, we have smaller and smaller creators really dictating like what the news and breaking news will be, is that we don't have a definitive spot to go to that'll update us when things change, because things always inevitably change, especially with breaking news. Some shit will pop off and they think we have evidence or this is what we presume is happening right now, come back for further update, and that would be on Fox, an XYZ, whatever newscast, and you could always go and refer back to that.
So on YouTube, there's a channel called Global News. They be having everything that's going on, because I like to know what's going on in Africa too. You know what I'm saying? They got a news channel that's just for Africa. I forgot, but I'm subscribed to that. You know what I mean? So you gotta find these shits that's not the major American corporations doing it. You know what I mean? And they on ground. Like, nigga, hey, somebody got killed right here. Look, there's the body. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really
oh shit,
showing you what's going on in these places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's less reputable. It's still just as reputable.
Not that it's less reputable, but like in terms of, I think like big reason why the U.S. seems more fractured than ever is that yes, you could watch that, but I could never come across that. You know what I mean? And Save could have a whole different outlook into, not that I can't look it up or stumble upon it somehow, but just in terms of how my algorithm goes or what I search up and the news that I search up.
You can't fuck the algorithm. You got to be intentional. Okay. If you want to know what's going on in the world, you need to look up what's going on in the world. And I don't mean like thoroughly, like, okay, until you get the answers you're looking for. And understand it's gonna come from other sources than what you're used to, but it's out there.
I agree. I agree, but the average person is just like, if they could just flip to
that's why you
Fox
can't
News
be
or whatever.
average. People do not be average. You understand?
Oh, here's another conversation that we're referring back to.
Average.
But
There's another.
Stop, bro. Stop. We're not gonna go into another. No, but you know what I mean. But there is the
that we've had, guys.
But there is the average person who doesn't necessarily want to be extraordinary, and Save is alluding to a conversation that we had a while back. But regardless of whether they want to be or not, there is going to be that average of people. There's just, you know what I mean, and not everybody wants to be.
As long as you're average, you're gonna suffer. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And until you be like, hey, I'm tired of this. Let me reach outside of what I'm normally reaching into. Let me expand a bit. Then you're gonna suffer. You're gonna get very narrow-minded information. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have the same conversations for years. Nothing's gonna change.
I guess what I'm also like more speaking to isn't necessarily like the fact that people are not or are searching whatever they're searching. It's just that it's unfortunate that we don't have like a more of a central hub, because I feel like, to bring a very grim, like super extreme example, like when 9/11 happened, it happened and like everybody was watching, and everybody was watching on like the same couple stations, and everybody had a central hub to go to have updates, to have live feeds. Obviously it doesn't have to be as extreme as 9/11 was, and things like that, but to have something like that where everybody can conjugate and be watching the same thing. So you do have
to be more intentional now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just an unfortunate aspect of like new alternative media versus what we used to have with a more centralized thing. But I mean,
I would agree to an extent. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Pros and cons for sure. You definitely get more granular information now. Sorry, Pudge. than you probably did then, because you get to research so much more. And if you want to know, you can.
Indeed.
For sure.
See, and the problem is that you even have with that, like let's say 9/11, is I do remember that the news reportings were different, right? That some were claiming that it was an accident, this was just solely an accident.
Mhm.
And then one of the news broke that this was a terrorist plot. And then other news stations started picking that up. And then I know at one point they were claiming that it was one group. And I remember like it was this wild name. And then news reporting started coming into certain stations that it was Al Qaeda. And then other news stations started picking that up.
Mm.
So even back then to where it
But
seemed
we
so,
like the same. You a year younger than me, so you was like 11 when this shit happened.
God, I was probably like second grade, dude, maybe third grade. I can't even remember.
Nah, I was in.
We were
I'm
like
pretty sure I
9,
was
bro.
in 6th grade. What?
Like
Because
nine
that was
or 10.
2001.
2001. What are you?
2001.
Okay, I was in 5th grade. What are
I
you?
was
like
2 years
10?
old.
Yeah, 10.
Okay.
0 was 2.
So I doubt you was paying attention that deep. Maybe you were. Maybe you're an extraordinary kid. I don't know you like that. That's
I mean, my
like-
dad was heavily involved in politics. That's the only reason why this was even.
Okay,
like,
so let me
a
tell
thing.
you what I remember. When the shit first happened, right? I'm in 6th grade, and it happened early in the morning on the East Coast, so that's super early on the West Coast, right?
Mhm.
So I used to get dropped off at, they used to call it 6 to 6. You know, this is
It's the
before
same story
school.
as me.
Okay, so this is the before school program, right? And that's why I remember they had it on the TV. Then when after school I went home, it's on the TV at home, and it wasn't no or at my 10-year-old brain, I didn't perceive any variation in it. Like it all look, everybody's watching this right now. There's this thick smoke billowing from these buildings in New York, and we got attacked by the Taliban or the Al Qaeda, whoever they're calling it. Everybody was saying that. I didn't hear it might be this, it might be that. Nigga, hey, it was the niggas knew who it was. You know what I'm saying? And I think probably 2 days later, Bush was like, "Hey, we sending troops." You know what I'm saying?
There is a newscast that you can find that does say that it was an accident though, because I've seen it before.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure it exists for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
No, I was the same
Yes,
shit.
I'm
I was
saying
getting,
the main
I was-
ones.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like I remember them being like, "Oh yeah, we know who this is."
I was
Okay.
getting
Yeah,
getting
we
dropped
get
off at 6 to 6 too, and I was trying to change the radio in my mom's car, and she slapped the shit out of my hand, and I was like, I was like, what? And she was like, this is
She don't
really
usually
serious.
do that. Yeah.
No, never. And she was like, this is really serious, and I just remember them like talking about the towers and yeah, that shit was a trip. That was that was
the problem that you even have with having a central media, right, is one, you cannot monopolize information, right? Whether it has the most purest of intentions, because if that was to become corrupted, and if that was the one place where we're all getting our media, imagine if it was infiltrated by bad people. You know, I mean, now this one media station is being controlled by guys who could be pushing whatever fucking propaganda that they want. That's what
Yeah.
they did in Germany. That's what they did in Russia. Like when you look at the history of people who control the propaganda, that's what they want. They want a centralized media that's going to push out whatever news that they so seem
Yeah.
fit. That's
Yeah.
what made it
World order, baby.
wild in the colonies back in the day, because you had dudes in Boston, you had dudes in the Carolinas, you had dudes in Philadelphia who were standing on Apple fucking boxes screaming at the top of their lung, extra, extra, read all about it, and they had their own media that they were spewing out to the colonies, and it was different everywhere you went. You know what I mean? So I think it's just the nature of how news travels, that it's always going to be a little different. It's always going to sound a little different depending where you're at, who you're with, and what you're really trying to push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it goes back to just as a man, you want to be well informed, especially if you got a family you're trying to protect. You know what I'm saying? You just want to know what's going on. But at the end of the day, even if you don't, as long as you know what's going on in your neighborhood, you know what I mean, where you at, what's going to actually affect you and your peoples, you know what I'm saying? You got to stay informed. That's what it comes down to.
That was gonna be my next comment, is that, as much as I gave zero shit for the average thing, that was a crazy
Dude,
little
we
debate
went
that we
for
had.
like a full hour and a half of just talking in circles. That shit was insane. That shit was crazy.
I do agree with that. You know, there are some people that want to be educated worldwide on what's going on everywhere in the world. But I do agree. As long as you know what's going on in your community, I think that's the main important part because that's what affects you directly. So I do agree. I agree with that statement 100%. Like you need to know what's going on in your tribe, and be informed 100% on that. 100%. All right. So you said you wanted to discuss
God.
the topic of God. This is another. It's funny that you're
Punch is
touching on
getting
a lot
perked
of
up, bro.
conversations. You're touching on a lot of conversations that we
After
had
39 episodes, is there anything you guys haven't touched?
Oh, each other. Just kidding. Oh, sorry.
Damo.
I'm
Damien.
glad to hear that.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. There has to be something that we haven't touched on yet, but
I don't mean to, repeat topics. I wanted
no,
to.
No,
it's
bro.
not an
No,
more
no, no. It's new
we're
because
getting
you're here.
insight from somebody else. Yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
insight from somebody else.
I wanted to discuss God because my man Putch was like, I'm a man of God, and if she submits to me, she needs to know I submit to him, and that type of shit, right? I feel like you said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I feel like I have a fairly unique perspective on God.
Absolutely.
And so when I hear people refer to God as him, it kind of bothers me
Mm-hmm.
because he is not a him, or what, that doesn't even make sense. Like, so I learned from a certain individual that humans like to he used the word, like, I think it's like anthropomorphize, some shit like that, where basically you're turning God into this human figure, right? Which is a vain thing to do because it's like, anyway, I don't look at God as him or not a her, obviously, either. Like, he's outside of all that. I hate to say even he right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so in the Bible, right? And I read the Bible. I just bought a Bible, but I've been reading. I grew up in church. Okay, let me let y'all know that. Like, I used to go to church like 4 times a week as a kid coming up. I mean, like, my grandma is super Christian. My mom too. So that's
His
my
name
background.
is Steez Motion.
And Christian, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Good guess.
Christian upbringing. So now my perspective has evolved to where I understand that God is energy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
God permeates every being, and it's not about whether you choose to believe it or not. I don't care what you say out your mouth you believe. Like, you couldn't speak without God. You wouldn't be conscious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of us would exist. And so because it's so natural to you, there's no way you could be without it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, if you're now this, obviously you have to acknowledge this, right? Like, if you are somebody who claims to be an atheist or something like that, or maybe you're I don't know, Buddhist or something outside of Christian, and I've done comparative religious study, you know what I'm saying? They're all very similar, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, God is your highest good, okay? And so now when I ask you, when I say that, I would also say, let's think about anything you're like, damn, I don't know if I should do this, or if I don't know how to do this or whatever. I would say, like, how good is this thing? And is it only good for you, or is it going to be good for humanity, or is it going to affect other people outside of yourself in a positive way? If so, move forward. You know what I'm saying? And so you pursuing your highest good for a masculine male, that's always gonna lead to, like, for instance, we're talking about relationships, right? And we're talking about, because I'm going back to what you said about submission and women and all of that. If you're pursuing your highest good as the man, and she has similar beliefs to you, she's gonna feel that. And it's good. It may not ever be a discussion. Like, I feel like people hate the word submission. And I understand that because
Right.
words have a lot of power. Words come with a lot of baggage. You know, even the word God, when people hear that word, automatically thoughts start going off of shit that I'm not referring to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I gotta clarify. Um, but yeah, I feel like as a man, if you're in pursuit of your highest good and you find your woman that's with you, everything falls in line as you know, as she recognizes that in you and you guys pursue a life together. You know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
I feel like this God topic is kind of mixed with the relationship topic. But I wanted to say that to you earlier when you made the comment you made.
Oh, absolutely. And
But
I
I
can
leave that
definitely
open.
see I could definitely see where, because of goddamn everything you said I can agree with. Words carry power, and I do, I like to also look through different scriptures, right, of different texts, and see how these things can compare and contrast, right? Like Christ, Christ was quoted so many times in the Quran. You know what I mean? Christ was also
Yes,
persecuted by his own religion. He was a Jew, you know what I
yes,
mean? And was also
yeah,
persecuted by the Pharisee, you know what I
exactly.
mean? And
A
so
lot of
these
people
things,
don't know that.
a lot of people don't know that. And
Jesus
these are
Christ was
all,
not a Christian.
yeah, he created Christianity through his
Right.
death and resurrection.
Well,
This
not
thing,
him, his admirers.
those
And
disciples,
you know what I mean?
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And Moses, and Moses authored so much of the Bible. And so there's so much stuff like that I try not to get too entangled with.
Right.
And like I've told the boys ad nauseum, is I try to study these things, and the Bible just so happens to speak a language I understand. You know what I mean? I don't speak Arabic, so the Quran is not something I'm a read. Because I don't understand the language.
Oh,
I
there's
don't
gotta
understand.
be Qurans in English, bro.
Now I've heard that, and I've heard a lot of guys speak against it because
Mm.
they speak against the translation. They don't want it being translated, because through
And
translation is where you have miscommunication of what these words actually mean. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
there's like over like 2,000 versions of the Bible or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Mm.
that's where it gets real conflated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah, it gets weird. It gets
and
weird
so
after
it's
that.
really about what you got going on with who you perceive as God. And I think
Absolutely.
there's a lot of wisdom and insight in the Bible. Like I said, I have a Bible, I read the Bible. Um, but for it to be like this whole institution and like this whole, you know, philosophy and this way of life, and it's not, um, this shit is not cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
No.
has their own,
Version.
you know what I mean? Their own relationship with that entity.
Mhm.
And I would say I would encourage people to really live based on what that relationship is giving you. And again, it would be your highest good. So if your perception of God is telling you to go shoot up a Walmart, you're not,
Not studying.
that's not God.
You're
I
praying
promise you that's not
downwards in
God.
the craziest way.
Yeah. And even Masonry teaches, a big teaching of Masonry is to keep our desires within due balance to all of mankind, right? To keep our desires and our passions in balance, right? So if I know that something I'm doing is going outside of that circumcision, circumscribing of, like, hey, I need to be nice to other people, I need to be nice to my neighbor, I need to be a good man, and these things. And if these actions are going outside that bound, then I know God's not present. I know God's not present in these actions, and he's not going to be present in the words that I say, because words are powerful. Word gave creation to the
But
universe.
a lot, and I like that you said that, but a lot of people don't, they don't perceive it that way. You know what I mean? And they feel like they really listening to hear like, and sometimes you might hear God speak to you. I don't want to say that doesn't happen, but more than likely it's gonna be through action. You know what I mean? It's gonna be through an interaction with somebody else. It's not really going to be in a verbal. I mean, it absolutely could be, but I just think that
It's like the feeling you have. Is that what you mean?
um it could be a feeling you have. It could be deeper than that. You know, it could be again, God is energy, so he comes in so many different forms. You know what I mean? And you have to be you have to be able to perceive all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's totally up to you. Nobody can be like, you can't be like, oh yeah, I heard God, and somebody else is like, no, you didn't. You know what I mean? Like nobody could tell you what you perceived. But like I said, if God spoke to you and told you to go blow up a hospital, I promise you that wasn't God.
Mm-mm.
I promise you. You know what I mean?
So would you consider yourself religious?
No, definitely not, because religion is it's like a mechanical way of
Yeah, I know
doing.
you spoke on the institution, and so I
Yeah,
was just curious. But okay, so conversation that we had, and I agree with a lot of the things that you said about God and the entity of God. I also believe that. You know, I know Zero and I, we do a lot of talking while we're at work. We go on walks and stuff, and we chat about stuff. And before the podcast that we had, when we spoke about religion and God, um, you know, one of the questions that he asked me was like, what was my take on God, or if I thought God was real. I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but I said, you know, I know it for a fact that it is impossible for there not to be something that created this. Like there is something that created everything that we are exposed to, because of the fact that it intertwines so perfectly with each other, from the way that we breathe the air that trees, to the way that a woman lays with a man, like it, everything is bound together by
right.
something.
Yes, sir.
And it was created. But I also agree. I agree with you that, is personified. When you hear God, it is personified as
Yeah,
He Almighty, fucking, because it's depicted that way in other religions, right? Whether it be
yeah,
Buddha or Zeus
yeah.
or Ra, like it's depicted as a
Right.
being. So I think humans needed an explanation for something that they can't see. You know what I mean?
Right.
If there's nothing there, you need some type of explanation for it. And I think that's where all these gods from different religions came from.
Yeah.
And although a lot of them are very similar, and then once it started getting down to one God, the similarities of that God was the main God for all the other religions. But yeah, I agree with the entity portion of it. Um, but part of the conversation that we had was, um, with you believing that God is an entity. Does that mean that you believe in heaven and hell as well?
I believe in one power. I believe in goodness, and I believe, oh, you got away from it. You you
Mm.
made a
You
you had a lapse in judgment.
you don't necessarily
Uh,
believe in like the entity of evil.
nah,
That's
nah.
interesting.
I don't. I mean, I know it exists, but what I'm saying is like there's just degrees, right? So like, um, whether I stole a hat or I stole an election or stole a country, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's degrees of the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and obviously the consequences are, more extreme. Um, but at the end of the day, like I still, because the belief is so powerful. The human mind is so powerful. Even words are so powerful. Intention is so powerful. And if for me to acknowledge evil would be giving it power. You know what I'm saying? And so I choose not to do that.
Okay, so
I choose not to do that.
back on the conversation, because I just want to touch on points that we had when we had this conversation as well. So heaven and hell. So okay, so then what do you believe happens to you when you pass away?
Um,
If you don't believe in heaven or
Good
hell,
question. Good
it's
question.
right.
got to
Crystal,
be
Crystal
right.
Waters.
Like what? because we all had said what we believed in on this topic, and it was very interesting to hear everybody's. And I
Yeah,
think we kind
yeah.
of came to some type of conclusion that we all agree with each other on certain things, but it's just interesting to hear if there's an entity. If you believe that God is an entity, are you with
So
him after?
I think consciousness as we know it, it needs all the elements um to be what it is. So you need um this physical form, you need your spirit, all of those things to have consciousness as we know it. I think when you die, I think you become part of the universe. Like you become you break apart. Like you become
Mm.
you I guess mesh back into the different elements of the universe. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Um,
It's crazy because I said the same, pretty much the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
and
okay,
I
that's dope.
believe and I believe that what reincarnation is that I mean I didn't explain it this way during that last podcast, but imagine like what you said, right? You go back into the universe, and the universe is just a large piece of cloth, and the
Right.
next person to be born, or whatever the case may be, the next animal or whatever the case may be, is just a torn piece of that cloth. Like the spirit is just a torn piece of that cloth. So I personally believe the spirit that lives within us, um, and some people may say soulmate, and some people might get along with a buddy the same. They just might be spot on with each other on certain things, and it's because a piece of spirit that you once were is in them as well, and it's just recycled pieces of other spirits that just
Well, we
continue to give
are.
you.
I believe we are spirits having human experiences.
Ooh, yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, I'm learning how to be like. I remember I was explaining what I'm doing with my feet to y'all because I'm like, damn, I'm in this body. I need to. There's parts of this shit I still haven't explored at 30. You know what I mean? It's like I'm naturally a thinker. I'm naturally passionate. Like I'm very spirited naturally. That there's no I don't need to read a book. I don't need to look up nothing. That's there. But I need to figure out how to maximize this. Like, what the fuck is this? How do I get the most out of this to have the most positive experience I could have while I'm having this physical existence? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I think we spirits having human experiences.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never heard of anybody that, because I didn't. We've never talked about this. But
Yeah.
I've never heard of anybody explain it almost to the T of how I've explained it before. And I think that's
Word.
wild, and I think that's a beautiful thing that there are like-minded people in that are that have
Yeah.
that experience. You know what I mean? That, or that
Yeah.
belief,
Yeah.
because
That's dope.
that that form of thinking, that's what we're doing in this lifetime, has relieved so much pressure off of um a living a sad life, I guess I could say. Like living a life of sorrow and depression, or um not understanding why I'm here. uh, Thinking of it that way has definitely
Right.
led me in the direction, because I'm the same way, man. I'm 100% always trying to be good, always trying to love everybody, no matter what the circumstance may be. I mean, we might talk shit to each other on the podcast here and there, but like,
Yeah.
even if we have a debate or an argument where we disagree with each other, and that's something that I messaged you about. I mean, this is a place that we're not always going to agree with each other on a lot of shit, and we do
Yeah.
argue. And but at the end of the day, we're fucking 39 episodes in. It's just evidence that you can disagree with people and still want the same things and still continue to progress. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's,
For sure.
with all the foo shit that you're talking about in the world, I think this is the number one thing that needs to be talked about. I mean, I agree with the masculinity aspect of things. I agree with the God aspect of things. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't care who's in front of me. I'm going to give them the opportunity to speak. I'm going to give them the opportunity to disagree with me. And I just want to continue having conversations and communicating with each other. And if it's something that doesn't flow for you, great. I know that I gave it my best. At the end of the day, I still love you. I still care for you. I still care about what you think. But if it's something that you don't want to continue on with, then by all means keep moving, because I'm going to continue to progress. You know what I mean?
And
Mm-hmm.
then something I want to say really quick, two things. One thing, something that Save said very quickly in terms of like what was, you know, the foo shit that maybe we see a lot more often these days. Something that came to mind was the fact that online people are so fucking hyperbolic, and like we'll say the craziest shit for like, and it's all, you know, incentivized by money now, because everybody, like, behind every like crazy tweet or like crazy YouTube video, you know that there's a possibility of virality to it and putting your name out there and, you know, getting some bread off of it or getting a name off of it. So I think that's always something to be careful about. And then two, Steez. Somebody in my chat wanted to know if you believe in guardian angels or ghosts.
Guardian angels or ghosts? I think it's possible. I think that's really dependent on your perception. It's like you may be perceiving that, like you may be perceiving God as a guardian angel, or you know, I think either is fine because you're acknowledging the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I don't necessarily you know, that's not in my experience. You know what I mean? But I would not deny their existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't deny anybody else's perceptions. If they say that they saw a ghost, I'm not gonna be like, no, you didn't, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you saw. You know what I mean? So, for sure, it could absolutely exist.
That's funny because we Zero and I actually had a conversation about this the other day about three fairies hiding in a bush.
Bro, that was. I actually wanted to thank you for that conversation a little bit because I talked to my girlfriend about it and she was like, "I'm so glad that you have Cisco because I can't fucking deal with that shit." Because I was just talking and my mom said the same thing. Because I'm the type that I like to get in the weeds of arguments like that, and there aren't very many people who will do that with me, and I anger a lot.
We argued for like 30 minutes.
Literally, just like 30, 45 minutes of just how granular
What
it
is
could
this
be.
about?
It's
So Zero came to me the other day. This was like what, Friday or something like that?
Yeah, it was like last week.
It was very recent. And he said, you know, Cisco, for you stating that you're as open-minded as you say you are, I don't think that you're very open-minded. And we, you know, I was like, well, tell me how I'm not open-minded then, you know, like prove to me that I'm not open-minded. And we basically just had a debate for like 30, 45 minutes.
But what is this about three fairies in a bush? What is that?
So the example that I made, well, the example or what Zero had said was, if you're open-minded, that means that you're open to the possibility of anything, no matter what. That's being open-minded to the T. And by definition, that is open-minded. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, Zero, if you told me that you saw three fairies right there, standing right there, I'm looking in the same direction that you're looking. I don't see anything. So therefore, I don't believe that. And he said, well, what if I told you that there was three fairies hiding in a bush? Would you believe me? And I said, well, it's not that if I would believe you or not, I'd be like, let's go over there and look for the fairies. And then he kept saying, well, what if you don't?
But
what
I said,
if you can't see them?
I said
are you
was
open to the fact that they're there?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, my definition was you have to be willing to take into consideration the possibilities, not necessarily believe them or express them to be true, or wholeheartedly be like, this is 100% true because Damien said it one time. That's not what I mean. All I mean is to take into consideration and believe in the possibilities.
Okay, I would say to that though, it's like, okay, even if you see your fairies, right? How are you going to mesh that with? Okay, and I'm gonna say mesh that with reality. And when I say reality, I mean this realm that we all can agree on what we see, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to mesh that? Like, are you gonna be the guy, like, you know, in the schoolyard just like counting fairies and shit, and nobody, you know, just like the weirdo, and that's fine? Or like, because if you're somebody who take life serious and you got a job where you got to dress in a suit and you got to be, you know, you got to show up on time, you know, you got a 9 to 5, and you in the office talking about fairies, they're gonna fire your ass because you're not on task. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gives a fuck about the fairies you see. Not that they're not there. They could be absolutely be there. But if nobody else sees them, they don't matter to what's going on. You know what I mean? So
The fairies was just the
Yeah.
fairies was just an
Just
example
a-
to my open
no,
mindedness.
I understand. I'm
Oh,
only
word.
using fairies because that's what y'all said. But I'm saying like anybody who's saying they see something that you know is debatable if it's actually there or not. You have to decide how much attention and energy you're gonna give that. Like, you know what I mean? There's real shit happening that we all see, and we don't. You know, some of us have less tolerance for people who are talking about some shit that nobody else can see.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's understandable. Like, nigga, like I gotta get to work. What the fuck you talking about? You know what I mean? Or there's shit going on here. Not that what you're perceiving isn't there, but if I don't, you know what I mean? It's like you have to figure out how you're going to navigate.
Even if that's the case, though, even if that's the case, right? Even if it has nothing to do with what you're doing, are you still open to the fact? And this is what Zero was trying to allude to. Are you still open to the fact that does exist? It does that like
Am I
that was
open
there?
to it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's of no consequence to me because I don't perceive it. So I don't care. Like I'm not gonna say it's not there. I'm not
So
gonna
if you don't, so if you don't care, do you perceive yourself as open minded?
No, I don't. I don't perceive myself as open minded. And I'm gonna tell you why, because and I used to say I was open minded, but to me that phrase is like it's inviting bullshit. It's like when somebody's like, "Oh, you're open minded? Well, how about this? How about this? How about?" It's like, okay, nigga, you're getting ridiculous. Like, you know what
I
I'm
like
saying?
to say that
I
I'm
don't-
filtered. I'm
I'm
filtered
not like,
mind.
huh?
I like to say that I'm a filtered mind. It kind of sounds like what you're kind of going for, like a filtered, open, but we're going to kind of discern and decipher some of the bullshit.
But I think
you know
it's
what I mean?
easy to decipher like maybe I don't know, because if I'm open minded, I'll consider the fact that there are fairies over there. But if I can't ask you questions about it, or you can't answer the questions that I'm asking you about it, then it's becoming less and less in my mind. It takes less and less space in my mind. I'm like, okay, well, you're not even taking your shit seriously if you can't answer XYZ, or like you're avoidant of whatever question, and that's a whole
And
nother.
it could easily, become foo-foo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we talking about when we start talking about shit like that? Like,
Yeah, but I think it. So here's where I think maybe we'll disagree, because I think
I know we need to disagree. We ain't disagreed. It's been an hour and a half. Niggas ain't disagreed.
yeah, this is well, I think this is where we disagree, and this is where I think we start debating a little bit, because
Wait, who you
as
disagreeing with?
easy as with Steve.
Oh my god.
So
Okay,
as easy as you could say, those fairies don't mean shit. They don't mean nothing. And we're talking all hypothetical, foo-foo, fucking fugazi shit, right? But as much as you could say, bro, like, who the fuck cares about those fairies? Like, I gotta focus on my 9 to 5. This is the focus that I'm on right now. This, that, and the other, right?
Mhm.
How easily could those fairies lead you down another path that could lead you to more success? As much as you think it's going to lead you to bullshit, because this is the way that you think success is based off of your line of thinking, without being open to the fact that actually exists and taking into consideration what could happen over here, like this could easily be another route to success, maybe even a shortcut. Or, by the way that you're talking, it could just be absolute bullshit. You took the opportunity and you missed out on this route right here. I mean, it's easily like flip flopped. You can easily seesaw it out. Like the way that you're speaking.
I don't want to take away any positive contribution those fairies could have to outcomes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's absolutely true. So I guess I should say, like, hey, I don't see the fairies, but tell them fairies we need help, or hey, where should we be? You know what I mean?
But it's not it's not a bad thing. Like the way that I'm perceiving your thought process on things is not a bad thing, right? You're very in tune. You got blinders on. I know what my goal is, and I'm under the impression that I know how to get there through these steps based off of my thought process. But personally, I think that being, taking the blinders off and being open to the outside world and allowing more information to come in, not information that just you want to know on, but what other people have to say, more information on maybe taking a look at the recommended videos or allowing the algorithm to take its place. I mean,
Yeah,
it
I feel
may
what you're
lead.
saying. It
It
could
might,
have a
yeah,
a positive effect for sure.
absolutely.
Um,
And to me, based off of what you were saying earlier about being the highest of good, I think
yeah.
being the highest of good is allowing a lot more in than you don't. Personally, I think allowing a lot
Um,
more in
I just,
and
in my experience, there's a lot more bullshit than
Yeah.
good shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean? In my
I mean,
experience, and I can only make decisions based on my experience. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So,
absolutely.
not, but I I try to be as open as possible. I really do. I
I
really do.
I said
Um,
this as like a gradient, as like there's gonna be certain things that you take into consideration less and less. Like if I brought up the example, if you came up and told me I just did the dishes, I'm gonna take that into consideration as like a pretty high degree. You probably did do them. You know what I mean? I haven't seen you in a little while. You probably went to go do them. I don't know. But then if you came out and told me like, yo, I just flew to work on a unicorn and it's right outside, I'm like, okay, that consideration is like at 0.001%. It's maybe possible, but probably not, right? It's like there's varying degrees of what as open-minded as you can be. There's going to be different things of consideration, and that's why I say like you learn to discern the bullshit by asking these questions to somebody who will come up to you and say, I believe this or I think this or whatever.
that's
And
right. Be intentional.
the
That's
more
right.
yeah.
the
But I
more they're
also
able to
said,
answer, the more maybe you take into consideration and integrate that within yourself and take the nuggets of information that you can.
yeah, and through this conversation, I also told Zero, I said the validity, in my opinion, the validity comes from who's telling me this information, right? And because he said, Cisco, if I told you that through this door we're about to walk into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, I'm gonna say, well, if you're telling me that, then I'm more likely to believe that than fucking, if regular Joe Schmo off the block was to be like,
Right.
hey, through this
Reputable
door is Willy Wonka.
sources.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
and just kind of backtrack a little bit based off of what you were saying with you've dealt with a lot of bullshit in your life. Um, I can believe that we can all say that we've dealt with a lot of bullshit in our lives, but I think we deal with less bullshit with who we have around us. You know what I mean? And if you have less and less people around you, or even if it's just you in your own creative space, then you obviously deal with less bullshit. But all in all, I do believe that there are some things that you have to create with other people. So you have
I
in
agree
order
with
to
that.
in order to gain other people, you have to be more open because that's how you gain like-minded people around, and that's how you separate yourself from people too. Is by being open-minded and be like, hey, you know what? I listened to what the fuck you had to say. Like Corpse has said it plenty of times. I have my dance homies that I dance with. I have my going out buddies that I go out with, and I have my people that I converse with and do these types of things with. And I think
That would be
you know
hard for me right there.
the
Having those
separation.
different types of friends like that, like, because I'm always the same person. Like, I'm never like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I
but
go
but
dancing,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm
You're given a
still
portion. You're given a portion of that. Like you could easily be into books, and you could find somebody that's just into books as you are, masculinity, all that great stuff, but doesn't
damn. I
like
feel like
doesn't like hip
masculinity
hop music.
kind of. I feel like I got painted with the masculinity brush. Like that's
No. I'm just saying, but that was the topic that took up the most time, and that was brought up
okay.
multiple times. So,
Well, that's
okay,
cool. I ain't mad at that. Yeah,
let's put it like this. You like to smoke weed, okay?
I do.
I don't like to smoke weed. So if you want to
That's
smoke weed with your
unfortunate.
smoke weed homies, go
Yeah.
smoke weed with your smoke weed homies. But if you
Well,
want
I'm
to
gonna
sit down,
smoke
have
with
a,
Dolo or with a homie. It don't matter who's around. I'm finna
you
hit
see what I'm
that.
saying? Like, but if
Yeah.
you want to have an intellectual conversation over a black and mild, I'm your guy. Let's come
Oh
sit down
no,
and have a
sir.
seat.
I'm not.
But you know what I'm just saying, the throwback
Me and
days.
this guy, we used to smoke blacks back to back like it was the thing to do, man. And I'm still paying for that shit.
Oh hell no, those
You
things are
still smoke
crazy.
blacks?
Nah, but if you pulled up and you were like, hey, let's go smoke a black, I would do it in a
Ooh, a
heartbeat.
black and mild wine, with the wood tip, boy.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
fuck one
disgusting,
up.
bro.
Bro, back in the
fuck
day,
that.
that was like filet mignon, nigga. It was
Bro.
like, oh, you got the wide wood tip,
Yeah.
nigga.
With the
Oh,
wood tip.
shit.
With the wood
Wood
tip.
tip.
Wow, fuck them up. Nah, with a root
But
beer.
you see what I'm saying? So like, I think that's where I would disagree with you. That's probably the only thing I would disagree with you on is like I've lived my life. I mean, I've given a lot
I
of.
may
people a
have
lot of things.
you make me feel like I may have misrepresented myself because I feel like I'm very open, you know what I
No,
mean?
no, no,
But
no, no, no,
I
and
feel
I
like
don't mean it in a
everybody, I
negative
feel
way.
like, say what?
I'm not saying it in a negative way because I've met a lot of successful people that have been very straightforward and head on with the way that they do things. Say no to going out. Say no that they can't go
Yeah.
enjoy themselves until they reach the point of their success. Which we also talked about on the podcast where success is different to everybody. Maybe you want a fat ass crib. Maybe you just want to get your high school diploma. Maybe you just want to have a couple kids and be live in a barn or something. But
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people that are very straightforward with how they want to do things, and I met a lot of very open-minded people. And in my opinion, I'm gonna choose open-minded. Well, according to Zero, I'm not open-minded, but more open to things than
I said
than
you.
not.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm more open than not. You know what I mean? That's why I said maybe I misrepresented myself, but I do have a very keen nose for bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, maybe just plug your nose for a little while and see how much
I
of it
do
really
want to
is
take a
bullshit.
second. I do want to take a second. I wanna give
please say something, Corpse. God damn, you've been over there
Yo.
yawning, all
Oh,
type
dude.
of shit.
Oh my god, it's been a rough last few weeks. But I want to give a special shout out to my cousin Altman Lowry. She's been on the
Hey,
live feed on Facebook, and my uncle, her dad, is a pastor in the church
Oh,
down in
W.
the south of North Carolina.
oh,
And she's really
okay.
been vibing with a lot of the stuff that's been said today. And
Alright.
without putting out too much of her business, she's been through a lot recently. And
Right.
she's lost some people in her life very close to her. And it makes me very happy to see that she's on the podcast and that she's vibing with you guys, man.
Yeah, so shout out to her.
What was her
Yeah.
name again?
Her name is Altman.
Altman.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Oh, she's
Shout
still
out
in
to
here,
you.
my girl. I love you, Cuzzo. I love
Shout
you
out
so
to
much,
you.
and I hope that you're really vibing with it. Pastor's kid, though, y'all know how that goes when you're a pastor's kid. You're fucking
Absolutely.
one of the crazy ones, but she's always had my back. She's had my back through thick and thin, man, and like
That's
for real.
awesome. That's awesome.
No, big shout out. Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I definitely don't. I wouldn't say that anything you've said or have commented on would make you seem closed-minded. You know what I mean? I think that everybody needs to have a healthy dose of like filtering things or just like
Yeah.
I ain't fucking with that, because
Right.
because then you kind of turn into like a kite flyer. Like
Mhm.
if you're just allowing any information to come in and sway your movement, like your shit's going to end up all over the place, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Indeed.
I mean, Cisco knows how I used to be, and that's why I think it's fucking funny, bro. People call me right wing. I used to be super socialist, Bernie Sanders, all day, every day. Fuck that. Take away everybody's guns. Like we don't need them. Fuck that.
Whoa.
Everybody
Damn.
crazy, bro. I used to like. That's why I think it's fucking funny, dude. That's why I was telling you, dude. I hate women. I'm a fucking misogynist. All right, like because it's just funny how people try to paint
Not
me.
really though. This is all
People try to
jokes.
paint me.
It's not real.
People try to paint me a certain way, and it's like, dude, I just filter out a lot of bullshit that people try to spew to me, and just because I don't agree with it, you know what I mean? They want to call me whatever the fuck they want to call me. So whatever, I don't really care. But no, for sure, bro. I think you've probably been one of the more like well-educated. No offense to the milkman or
Sheesh.
anybody else who's came on the fucking podcast.
Yeah,
for us.
Sam's gonna fucking be like, "Fuck you." What do you mean? No, like,
no offense to Sam or anybody, like, you know what I mean? But I think you're more one of the more well-versed, like educated about what you do and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to execute in your own life,
Right.
man. For sure. I definitely want to make
Appreciate
sure.
you saying that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening. I know I've kind of been like, just like listening, kind of like looking off, like, damn, like, yeah, my man's making a
Right,
fucking
right.
good point right here, dog. Like, hold up. Let me think about that a little bit.
Man, I love, these conversations. You know what I mean? It really stimulates the mind. And I feel like I personally don't have it enough because I'm with my 2-year-old most of the time.
Hard to
So
have
he
live
was-
conversations with them, man.
Exactly. So, I really have enjoyed this. Hey, I don't know, you guys said you usually do 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
yeah, you still got some time.
Still got time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't let me make it feel like we're doing a sign off, dude. For sure. I just want to make sure I give you your flowers before we do, though.
I appreciate that, brother. Straight up.
So okay, so let me ask you this: have you picked up any like new hobbies or anything like that since you've been
Yeah, man. Fucking, I'm golfing and shit now, bro.
Oh, I saw that. I
Golfing.
saw that. Oh yeah, because
Golfing's
John
hard
is
as
living up
shit.
there too, right?
Yeah,
My man started day trading, and became a golfer. Let's go, dude.
Right. So my wife is Filipino, but so she was born in the Philippines, but her mom married a white dude and had 2 kids with him. So they're obviously mixed, but her brother's wife was here recently for the holidays, and I told her I'm golfing and doing stocks, and she was like, "Damn, you're white now." But man, so John put me on, man. So me and Save know John from I know John from middle school. I don't know how long you known him, but
High school was as long
that's
as I've known him.
that's my bro, man. I known him since 7th grade. So yeah, he moved out here like a month after me on some coincidental shit. And there's a country club like right by his crib, and we be there like pretty often. You know what I'm saying? So I'm into golfing, man. You said any new like hobbies or anything?
Short
I
story.
like-
Here's a short story, real fast.
Go ahead.
So Steve and I actually went with Steve to his first concert ever. And
hell yeah!
bro,
That's
let me tell you
good.
this. So
Damn.
this was like 2008 or 2009. It was one of those years. And we drove from San Diego to
San Bernardino.
Yeah. And we saw Drake perform. He did
Before
a college
he
tour.
was the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
This is how,
Before
bro.
he was Drake,
it
yeah.
was the venue that he performed in was the same venue that my cousin had her quinceañera in. That's how
Oh, for
big.
real?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's how big the venue was. It was standing room only. I would say there was maybe 1,100 to 2,000 people.
Did
in attendance.
you were already on to Drake before me, right?
No. It was
Okay.
either you or Tierra that put me on. One of you two. She
So-
claims it was you. I claim
Anita
or she claims it was her.
Maxine.
I claim it was you. One of y'all.
So I've been on Drake like since before what was that first shit he put So Far Gone, before that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Comeback Season. Oh boy was spitting, but he was just on some smooth shit. Like he wasn't talking shit to nobody. He was trying to holler at some females, talking about his city. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry, I kind of jumped in, but
You're good. Yeah, but it was fun.
yeah.
So here's what I'll tell you about this story because it was actually really funny. So Steve and I had like we obviously knew every song off of all 3 mixtapes that had come out. Like we were bumping it. We were bumping everything the whole way up. We were hella excited. The tickets to get in were $15. $15, bro. I wish I still had my ticket stub. I don't know where it's at. I know I have it somewhere, but I don't know where it's at.
You still
but it
have
was
that shit?
Yeah, it's in one of my yearbooks or something.
Wow.
So it was $15 to get in, and the line was around the theater. So we were standing in
Yeah.
line.
Didn't
And,
somebody I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so there's a line in one of Drake's songs where he says something about even showing up on dirty public transit, something along those lines. And this dude like says that line and was like, "Yeah, I got here on the bus," and like pulls out a bunch of change, like right where we're at, standing in line. So that dude like wound up kind of being around us while we were in the concert, and then we randomly gave him a ride home. Like, dude was, he was kind of like
Forgot about
hesitant about doing it, but we were like, fuck it, let's just take him. Bro, we dropped this dude off on like the side of a freeway, like off of a freeway exit. And he was like, "Oh, right here is cool." Yeah, he was like, "Oh, right here is cool."
The fuck?
And he got out, and then we both looked at each other like, "What the fuck just happened, bro?" Like that was the weirdest fucking.
That's crazy. I remember giving somebody a ride home, but I only remembered it once you said it. Like I forgot about that shit for real.
But it was tight as fuck, bro. But it was the worst performance. Like it was a horrible performance. It was like
Oh,
it was like
shit.
watching somebody perform at a like a high school talent show or some shit like that. Like But I remember because we saw when 40 came up, we were like, yo, it's 40 right. Well, it was like we were so hype about it. Yeah.
Fans,
I still have my shirt that I bought from that concert. It's in my closet.
Damn.
Yeah,
I don't.
I wore it. I wore it to the Nothing Was the Same tour, and it was crazy because those tickets were $180. So I'm like, from seeing this motherfucker when the tickets were $15 to standing room only, now to this, like that, it was fucking wild. Now I wouldn't even try to pay to go to one of his concerts. There's just
like $600, bro. $700.
Plus, I don't even like listen. I don't really fuck with his music anymore.
I was gonna ask how you guys think of, especially having a story that far back. What do you guys think?
So
of Drake
man,
now?
so I went through a time where I was a Drake hater.
Damn.
Because I was pissed when he first signed. I was pissed that he signed to Young Money because I was like, bro, he had so much momentum and support without Young Money already. You know what I mean? And to me, it was like, I don't think we were using this word at the time, but we would say it was like for clout. You know what I'm saying? It was like because Lil Wayne has like this sort of gangster image or whatever, sort of kind of loosely using that word, but it was like
for gangsters you hang around.
I mean, hey, Weezy be talking that shit, but I was upset with Drake for a long time. I was not supporting. Like, I think I didn't fuck with Nothing Was the Same when it first came out.
That's a great album.
Oh yeah, no, it's dope. It's dope. I was hating on him for a minute. I think when Dark Lane demo tapes came out, I started fucking with him again.
Oh, 4 p.m. in Calabasas.
4 p.m. in Calabasas was cool.
I don't
That
remember
was on that, right?
That's not on. Nah, that's not on there. Deep Pockets.
Oh,
on there.
yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't remember everything. I've been hitting the sauce. What the fuck else?
Paris Morton music was on that one.
Nah, hell nah.
Yeah, Dark Lane demo tapes.
But what about
right
what about songs or him as of recent? What do you guys think of him now?
So
I'm thinking of something else. You're talking about Chicago Freestyle and fucking
When to Say When was dope.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking of Care Package. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. I like the one he did with J. Cole on there. What's that one? He did a cold ass song with J. Cole. You don't know that shit?
The newest.
No. A while ago. I think it's on Care Package. But he said, "What you think about now?" So he put out like projects back to back recently. He did the Certified Lover Boy, which I fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Jodeci freestyle.
Jodeci, yeah, that shit hard.
I'm visiting the front desk, asking if they got, or calling up the front desk, asking if they got condoms.
They're saying they ain't got none.
Yeah, the fuck you mean you ain't got no condoms? Yeah, that shit's fucking
right. What's the one he did after that shit?
The whole shit with 21 Savage was garbage to me. That whole album.
I didn't. There's only like 2 on there that I like.
And
but
the last album that he just came out with was fucking ass to me.
That shit was ass too. But the other one though, he just be dropping shit, huh?
Scorpion.
I like Scorpion, but no, not that one. After that, it was kind of recent too. It was like 22.
For the Dogs?
No, not that one. God,
it was
right
before. You're talking about the one.
Shit. It's like the more techno.
Oh,
what the fuck? Techno?
Honestly, never mind.
That was a horrible.
Honestly, never mind.
Oh yeah, that shit was black.
Hey, listen to me though. I was saying the same shit when it first came out. I'm like, why you put this shit out, bro? I'm knocking that shit down. I mean, I be knocking that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
The one with all the wavy letters on the album cover?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
So I don't like the first.
I might revisit it, but it was whack.
I don't fuck with like the first 3 songs, but after that, I'm knocking every one of them shits, bro.
Yeah.
I might have to revisit it, but I think Scorpion was his last good album. Personally,
I get that because that's like the real spitting. You know what I mean? Like,
Lieutenant is my shit. Fucking what else?
You didn't like CLB?
Mob Ties.
Lover Boy. He got some spitters on.
It was all right. It was all right. I felt like it was more into more. I felt like Scorpion was more the era where I really enjoyed listening to Drake. And believe it or not, believe it or not, so Frodo and I were on a cruise.
Frodo, shout out to Frodo,
He's
man.
in town right now. I'm actually gonna go see him and I are going to a comedy show on Saturday.
Who, him and Samwise Gamgee or what, dude? You fucking Lord of the Rings over here?
But believe it or not, so
That's the homie Amadeus.
Frodo still lives. We were on a cruise and he was at the top deck, and I was like looking for him, and I went up there and I found him, and he was bumping So Far Gone, and he said, "This is the only only rap album that I'll like listen to from the beginning to end." And we sat there, bro. We sat there and drank whiskey together and listened to the whole thing from front to back and sung everything. It was tight as fuck.
That
bro.
sounds cool. That sounds like a vibe.
And if you know my boy Amadeus, like he don't listen to hip hop. He don't like. He works in Alaska on a fucking fishing boat. Like he listens to classical music while he drives. But play So Far Gone, bro, and he'll sit there and
I listen to classical too now, which is crazy. But I was gonna say, so Frodo, I feel like there's an interesting story with me and Frodo. I mean, loosely using interesting, not really. It's just like me and Frodo got close, man, because I met him through you. But we got close, and then he went to the Marines. And when he came back, I think he like smelled weed on me or some shit. And he looked at me like, oh my God, I can't fuck with you. Like,
yeah, he was just like that for a while, bro. There was a time where,
bro.
After he became a civilian again, we didn't see him. I went to his crib where he lived. I didn't see him for like 3 to 6 months because he would just sit in his room, and he didn't know how to be a civilian again. And
God damn, they did a number on his ass.
Moving to Alaska was the best thing that has pretty much, in my opinion, has ever happened to him. He's got mad cake now. He
don't they pay you to live in Alaska?
Yeah, once you become a resident. It took him like a year or something to become a resident.
Right.
But yeah, he came back home. I mean, he loves when he comes to visit. He's doing an extended visit right now. He was supposed to leave on the 26th of December. Now he doesn't know when he's leaving. Like he's just hosting.
Hold on.
And so on Saturday, we're actually gonna go see a comedy show. Me, him,
Dad.
Trey.
Good night, Dad. Love you, Dad.
Good night, Dad.
Night, Dad. Love you. Let me say bye to my dad. Bye, Dad.
Oh, it's Zero doing good night kisses and shit.
He don't give kisses.
Good night, Dad. Night.
No kissing on the mouth. Just hugs.
Yeah, so me, Frodo, Trey, and Gabe, we're all gonna go to a comedy show. We're gonna go eat, go to a comedy show, and then we're gonna fucking we're gonna go hit a cigar bar, bro. Let me tell you, when I feel like we're getting older and doing older people shit, like this is older people shit now, and it's kind of tight.
Bro, I like getting older.
These is actually my second guest on the show now.
Oh damn!
Yeah, Gabe.
Special.
Oh,
but technically, Gabe was taking Zero's spot that day.
He stepped in for me.
So you are the first guest.
You're the first official
guest.
guest.
Shout out to Gabe, man. I remember Gabe. I haven't seen his ass in a minute.
Fucking Klaus.
Cause.
Yeah.
Cause, yeah.
Oh, Cause, yeah. That's his like. Did he do graffiti too? I know he rapped.
He did, but he raps. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's killing it. He has a new album. I'll send it to you. It's really good.
That shit.
All right, well, we got to close it up, my boy. How can people find out more about you? Where can they visit to to maybe hit you up if they have some questions or list of books, anything like that? Where can
I got my ad right there under my name, Steve's For Real, on Instagram. If you want to hit me up, I usually respond pretty quickly. I'm kind of a private person. You'll probably see I don't post a lot. I do the story thing more often than anything. But if you have a direct, question, I'll definitely get back to you. I would just say, y'all, ask yourself questions. Like sit and really discover like who you are. You know what I mean? Like I said, most of us don't know who we are. If you're young, you in your 20s or younger than that, you really just learning who you are. You know what I mean? And really explore that, and be true, be honest with yourself, like uncomfortably so. And can y'all hear me? Did you just say something? Oh, okay.
Oh, I was yeah.
All right. That's my message to people. You know what I mean? That's the journey I'm on. it's just learning more about myself and challenging myself and trying to just improve and be the best version of myself I could be. You know what I mean? And I'm always open to mix it up with people, converse, chop it up, and I would never condemn or none of that type of shit. Like, we all people, you know what I mean? So yeah, hit me up, Steve's for real.
Appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you giving us your time and
Yeah,
allowing us to dig a
having
little bit into what you you got going on. I know being far away from home is not foreign to you anymore.
yeah,
But
Oh,
to
thank you
have
so much,
people
Annabelle, for
from
being
back
here.
home
Thank you.
reaching out and giving you the opportunity to speak on what you speak on.
for sure.
I appreciate it, man. When I sent you that picture and we were messaging in the DMs, I was like, yeah, for sure. This is somebody that I would love to bring on, just
Hell
because we've spent a lot of time conversing, and some of
We
the
did.
conversations that we've had have gotten extremely deep, and I knew that we could bring that to the table too, and I knew you wouldn't stray from that.
Right.
So I appreciate you being here, bro.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me, man. Nice
Yeah,
to
for
meet
sure.
you guys too. I enjoyed you
All right.
guys.
Yeah, we got to sign off. So I appreciate everybody listening. My community, Corpses community, Zeros community. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. For me, that's my sign off. As always, you guys stay healthy, stay happy. I love you guys. Keep smiling, and I'll pass it over to Corpse.
My guy. Yeah, again, thank you, Steez, man, for coming on to the show.
Yes, sir.
Boys, again, another week in the fucking books. I'm thankful for the covenant that we've built here, like always. Yeah. Everybody who's listening to the Usual Tuesday, thank you guys. Yeah, no matter what community that you hail from, your presence is appreciated. Everyone who's tuned in. Yeah, always do a little sign off with something. This hails from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. Yeah, I have a viewer who has this very close to their heart. And it goes, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength, and they will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. So don't have fear. Yeah, just keep your hope in something bigger than yourself, and you will rise to the occasion. Yeah, until next week, I hope you guys have a good day, week, month, year in life. Bang, bang. Till next time.
All
Oh,
right.
good shit, man. Yo, Steez, it's a broken record at this point. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. You were a great
Absolutely.
guest, man. And thank you to everybody's community. Everybody. It's been a crazy. I don't know. This whole thing has been crazy. This, the podcast that we've developed and time that we've taken for it. So I appreciate everybody for being here. Whether it be a second, a minute, an hour, the whole thing, or you're watching on the playback. Thank you so much for your time. Be safe. Peace.
Much love, everybody.
Much love.
All
Guys.
right, boys.
Be safe.
You guys take care. You guys be safe, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Ciao,
All
you
right,
guys.
fellas. Until next week,
All right,
yeah.
man. Peace.
Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Good dude. Real good dude. Holy shit. Good chat. I loved it, man. Yo. Big ups to Steez for popping in the podcast. Oh, shit. There we are. Oh, I need to also mess with my podcast screen really quick. Bring that back. Okay, sorry. Just had to do something really quick. View counter? Oh, it's gone. Oh, shit. Oh, it's right there. Alrighty. Listen, I'm going to stop fucking with this. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, viewing, subscribing. If you're not already, sub or whatever. Thank you so much. Alrighty.